Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you part 3 of the Color Lab cowl that has been designed by Rochelle from Cypress Textiles. This is the Scheepjes cowl for this year, and in this cowl we're making a gorgeous blanket in all different colors. Today part 3, and in this video I'll be showing you all the motifs that make up part 3. There are actually 7 different motifs, so you can see here they are, 7 different motifs. You're going to be joining them, join as you go, in all kinds of patterns. So I really do suggest you take the schematics that go along with this, because it'll really aid you on which square goes where. And then I'll take you through all 7 motifs and how you join these motifs. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Again, remember the timestamps in the video description so you can easily jump from one part of the video to the next. Let's get started with motif number 1. Motif 1, round 1, new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start with a chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then we close on the first stitch with a slip stitch to form a ring. Then in there, in the middle, there's a little opening, and there it is, that opening there. In that opening, work a beginning treble. So that is a double crochet, chain 1, and treble in the same space. There you go. So it's a double, chain 1, and a treble in the same space. Now the repeat is a chain 1, and then a 2 treble cluster in the ring. So that's one leg. Yarn over, come back, and that's the second leg, and then take them all off. Now that was repeat number 1. You need to do this 7 times. So chain 1, and then again in that same space, hole opening, treble cluster, and take them off. So that was number 2. Again, chain 1, and then a treble cluster, and then this is number 3. Repeat until you've done this 7 times, and then I'll see you back. I've done the repeat 7 times. So chain 1, that's still left, and I come to the first stitch. This is this beginning treble cluster, then on the chain 1 there, close with a slip stitch on that chain 1. There. Now we're ready for the next round. Round 2, just going to move to the chain space, or to the chain 1 space with a slip stitch. I'm going to move there with a slip stitch. Now in this chain space, this chain 1 space, going to work 4 trebles in total. Now the first one is of course a beginning treble. So that means here in this stitch work a double crochet and a chain 1, and now work 3 more trebles in this same space. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, that's 3, yes. So 1 plus 3, so 4 in total. We're now going to come to the next chain space, and if you just pull your work open, you'll see where those spaces are. And in there, work 4 trebles. So it's 1 treble, and then 3 more. 1, 2, 4 trebles, 1 plus 3. And this repeat all the way around. So come to your next space there. So you see how you just really need to just pull your work a bit to see where that gap is. So work 4 trebles in every chain 1 space, and when you're all the way around, close to your first stitch, that first treble, the beginning treble, close on there with a slip stitch. So now I've done this a few times, so when you're here, close there on that beginning treble with a slip stitch. Round 3, over these groups of 4 trebles that you've worked, all those 4 trebles, you're going to work a treble 4 together. So we're going to be reducing these stitches again. Now we're going to start with the beginning treble 4 together, and we're starting in the stitch where we're currently at with the slip stitch there. So in that same stitch, a double crochet and a chain 1, then come to the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, take off 2, that's 1, 2, and 3. And these are then the 4 stitches, those first 4 stitches. Take them all off. There we go. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now over the next 4 stitches, which again should be 4 stitches that you've worked into a chain 1 space, the treble 4 together. So this is the first one, so that's 1, yarn over, take off the second, yarn over, this is 3, yarn over, and 4, and take them all off in one go. And this you're going to repeat all the way around. So again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then over the next 4 stitches, so those 4 stitches worked into the space, a treble 4 together. And this way you're going to create a nice little pattern. 2, 3, 4, and take them all off. So now I've worked the repeat twice with you. I'm going to work a few more. So again, chain 5, then the next, and the next, and all. You're going to go all the way around. You're going to have 8 of these treble 4 togethers, and also 8 chain spaces. And you're of course going to finish after you've worked your last treble 4 together over these last 4 stitches. You'll do a chain 5, and then close on the first stitch. So that's this stitch here. Close on that stitch with a slip stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 4, I have color C on my hook, and we're going to start in any chain space, doesn't matter which chain space, and we attach with a slip stitch. There you go. Now in every chain space we're going to work 8 trebles. The first treble is of course a beginning treble, so that's a double crochet and chain 1, and now in this same space work 7 more trebles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, this is 4, 5. Oh, my yarn is a bit knotted. 5. Oh, yeah, I've got a bit of a yarn vomit happening here. Yarn barf. There we go. Where was I? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so I need to work 2 more. 6, 7. So that means in total it's 8 with the beginning stitch. So 8 trebles. Come to the next space and do the same. So 8 trebles. So 1, that's the first one, and then 7 more. 2, 3, until you have 8. So go all the way around, work 8 trebles in every chain space, and after you're finished with the last one here, so this last space will have 8 trebles, then on your first stitch, that beginning stitch there, the chain from the beginning stitch in there, close with a slip stitch, and then I'll see you for the next round. 8 trebles in every space. Round 5. This round we're going to work a double crochet on every stitch, and we're going to mark the 7th stitch. Now where we're currently in, start there with a double crochet. So this is of course a bit difficult, so that's 1, come to the next one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is number 7, so I'm just going to mark this one with a stitch marker, this last stitch. There we go, number 7. And now just continue and work 1 double on every stitch till you're all the way around. Then you'll have 64 double crochets, 1 on every stitch, and when you're at the beginning, close on that first stitch with a slip stitch and fasten off. Round 6, I have the same color yarn on my hook I had when we started, so the center star, and I'm going to attach with a slip stitch in the stitch that we marked. So in that stitch, gonna attach there, and I'm just going to remove the marker. There we go. In this stitch we're going to work a 2 treble cluster, chain 3, and a 2 treble cluster in the one stitch. Now I'm going to start with the beginning treble cluster, so that means a double, a chain 1, and then in the same stitch treble. There you go. That's your beginning 2 treble cluster. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the same stitch another 2 treble cluster. So 1, 2, and then take them off. There you go. So good. Treble cluster, chain 3, 2 treble cluster. Then chain 1, going to skip 3 stitches, and then in the 4th stitch we do the same as what we just did. So I'm going to yarn over, so skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, 3, and then come to stitch number 4, and here we work a treble cluster, and my yarn is just not cooperating. The treble cluster, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the same stitch again a treble cluster, 1, 2, and take them off. And this you're going to repeat all the way around. So again, chain 1, skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then this here is the start of the next 2 treble cluster. So repeat all the way around. So it's a 2 treble cluster, chain 3, 2 treble cluster, then chain 1s between these groups and skipping 3 stitches. Go all the way around, and then I'll just show you the closing. Almost at the end of the round, I've worked this last set here. Still need to do a chain 1 and then come here to the first stitch and close on the chain 1 with a slip stitch. And there we go. And now we're ready for the next round. Round 7, I'm going to move with a slip stitch to the next chain space. And now we're immediately going to start the repeat. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip this chain space and come to the next one. That's the one that's in the between the treble clusters here. In there we work a 2 double treble cluster. So that means yarn over twice. And like I said, in there, so we're going to skip this chain space, come to that one, and work a 2 double treble cluster. That's yarn over twice, 2, and now pinch them together. Chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to work four of these double treble clusters in this one space. So this is the second one. And take them off. And chain 2's in between. So 1, 2 chain, and then again yarn over twice. And then this chain space we just made is the corner, so we're going to have 4 of these, and this chain space here in the middle is your corner. Chain 2 and another one, so you're going to have 4 of these in this one space. It's a little crowded in there, so just move them a bit to the side if needed. Oh, there we go. So you can see how that space there, that's your new corner. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those double treble clusters. Now chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip this chain space and come to the next one. That's in between the treble clusters. Work a double crochet in that space. Then chain 2, and again, this is the second double, chain 2, and that one was in the chain 1 space. Now come to the next one. This is your third double, chain 2, and come to your next space here. This is your fourth double. Now again, chain 2, and come to your next space here, and this is number 5. So you now have 5 double crochets with chain 2's in between. So you've got 4 chain 2's and 5 doubles, with of course here the corner. Start chain 3. And now you're going to start this process with the corner again. So again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip this chain space and come to there and work a corner. So that's yarn over twice for the first double treble cluster. There we go. So this is the first one, and then you're going to repeat this entire corner. So I just worked that first double treble cluster. So now you're going to do a chain 2 and then in essence do 3 more of these clusters, and then here the double crochets in between. Go all the way around. I'll see you when you're back here, just to show you these last few doubles and where to join. Almost round. I've just worked this last corner, the first double crochet there. So that's chain 2, then work double number 2, chain 2, double number 3, chain 2, double number 4 here, chain 2, and then number 5 comes here in this chain space. We've already got a slip stitch in there, so just kind of work over it. So that's number 5, and then move to the chain 3 space to close with a slip stitch, and that completes the round. Round 8. I'm going to start where we are right now, and in this same space, this chain space, work a double crochet. So in that same space, 1 double, chain 2, 1, 2, come to the next chain space and work a double in there. Again, chain 2, and then the next chain space, I've actually put a marker in here, is the corner. I'm going to remove the marker. This is the corner stitch. Now in there work a 3 treble cluster, chain 3 and another 3 treble cluster. So this is the same as a 3 treble together. That's 1, 2, 3, take them all off, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that chain 3 is of course your new corner, and then in the same space another 3 treble cluster, 2 and 3, and take them all off, and then that's your new corner there. Now this straight edge, chain 2, 1, 2, come to the next space, work a double. I'm going to do this until you're to your next corner, chain 2 and a double, chain 2, a double, chain 2, and another one. And here you just need to pay attention that you work in the chain space there, because they fall very close together. Chain 2, the same goes on the other side, and again chain 2, 1, 2, the next chain space here gets a double, chain 2, the next one gets a double. This is the same as a double that we started with. So again, chain 2, come to the next space, gets a double, and then chain 2, and now you're at the corner. The next space is a corner space, so yarn over and work that 3 treble cluster, which is the start of the next corner stitch. There we go. And of course here will then be the same as there. So work a corner on each corner, and then here in between all those doubles, I believe you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, you've got 8 doubles and chain 2s in between everywhere. Go all the way around, and when you're back at the beginning, you're going to close on your first double, which is this one here. Close on that stitch with a slip stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 9, I have the same base color on my hook as a few rows down, and we're going to attach in any corner stitch with a slip stitch. There we go. Now work a beginning treble in this in the space that you are now. So that means a double followed by a chain 1. That's your beginning treble. Chain 2, Now this chain 2 here is your new corner, and then in the same space work 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. So 3 trebles in that space. You're now going to come along the straight edge, and in every chain 2 space until you get to the corner again. So in every chain space work 3 trebles. So for example, here's the first one. So this space gets 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. And repeat this. I'm going to make a jump in the video, but in every chain space you have 9 of these between the corners until you get to the corner. I'm going to see you back here when you've worked 3 trebles in that space, and I'll just show you the corner again. But in all of these spaces work 3 trebles. And to the other side, so I've worked 9 groups of 3 doubles. And next up here is the corner. In this corner I'm going to work 3 doubles, chain 2, which is then your new corner space, and 3 more doubles to start the next edge. So 1, 2, 3 trebles, chain 2, 1, 2, that's your new corner, and then 3 more trebles in here. 1, this is 2, and this is then the start of your next edge. 3, and now you're going to come down here and work everything you just did. So you can see here how that chain space there is the corner, very similar to this corner. Where is it? Slightly hidden there. There it is. So repeat all the way around. I'm going to see you back here when you've worked 3 trebles in this space, and I'll just show you the last few stitches and the join. I'm almost all the way around. I just worked these last 3 trebles in that last space. I'm almost all the way around, and to finish in the space where we started you need to work 2 more trebles. So 1 and 2, and then on the beginning stitch, now remember that this is the double and the chain 1, and then that chain 1 is what you need. So I'm going to insert my hook in there, close with a slip stitch. There we go. And now we're ready for round 10. Round 10, I'm going to start by just going with a slip stitch to the corner space. There we go. In this space work 3 doubles. So 1, 2, 3, and then the second one of those 3, that's a new corner. I'm just going to mark that with a stitch marker. That's second stitch. There. This straight edge, you're going to work a double crochet on every stitch. That's going to be 33 stitches, which will bring you to the next corner space on this side. So it means on every stitch a double, and especially the first one here and that one there can be easy to miss. So make sure you get that stitch, and then it's 1 double on every stitch till you're to the corner. That's 33 stitches. Here I've got 3, this is 4, and this is the last one. There we go. 33 doubles here along the edge. Then you're at the next chain space in which you're going to make your new corner. So that's 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3, And I'm again just going to mark that second stitch of the 3, because that's my new corner there. And repeat a double crochet on every stitch, 3 in the corner, and when you're back here at the beginning, after you've worked these last 3 doubles, close on your first stitch, that's that stitch there, close on that stitch with a slip stitch, and then you're ready for round 11. Round 11, and to start by just going with a slip stitch to the corner, that's the next marked stitch. There we go. You're going to remove the stitch marker, and in this stitch where you're now in, going to work a new corner. That's a double, chain 3, and a double in that corner stitch. So that's a double, chain 3, 2, 3, and another double in the same stitch. There we go. And that's your corner, that chain space. Just going to mark that chain space. The straight edge, we're going to work a chain 3. Oh dear, I just knotted my yarn. That was unintentional. Oh dear, I'll be back in a moment. Yeah, I'm back, got my yarn sorted. Now, on the straight edge, going to do a chain 3, skip 2 stitches and work a double. And we do that along the entire edge till we're to the corner. So that means chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches, it's 1, 2, skip, and then in the third work a double. Again, chain 3, and skip 2 stitches, and then the third stitch, so 1, 2, skip, and in the third I'll work a double. So again, we're going to make these chain 3 loops. We're going to use them to join the squares in from the second motif onwards. So now I've done 3 of these with you. Do a few more, so chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and then I'll see you back here when you're almost to the corner. I'm almost to the end. I've done all these chain loops. I've got one more to do. Chain 3, and then when you skip 2 stitches, the next stitch here is the marked corner stitch, and in there of course a double, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Just going to remove the marker, and then in the same stitch another double, and then that little loop there is your new corner. There. And this corner is of course the same as the corner we started with. So go all the way around, and after your last double here, skip the last 2 stitches and close on the first stitch with a slip stitch. And then you can also fasten off your yarn. When you've completed your first motif, this is what your square looks like. We're now going to work motif 2 and then join it to this one. Motif 2, which is this one here, repeat the same as for motif 1, only different colors, and repeat the first 10 rounds. So rounds 1 to 10 of motif 2 is the same as motif 1, and then we're going to do round 11, we're going to join it to this square. So round 11 of the second motif, I'm just going to move with a slip stitch to the corner, just this stitch here. I'm just going to remove this marker because it's going to be in the way. I'm going to start this first edge by working it in the same way as motif 1. So in the current stitch, a double, chain 3, and a double in the same stitch. There we go, and that marks the corner, and I'm just going to pop the stitch marker back. There we go. We're now going to work this edge with the chain 3, skip 2 stitches and work a double. 1, 2, 3. So skipping 1, 2 stitches, work a double. And we're going to do this for this entire edge, and when we get to the corner we're going to join this square. I'm going to start the process of joining this square to motif 1. So now I've done 2 of these loops exactly the same way as before. So repeat until you get to this corner here. So chain 3, skip 2 stitches, work a double, and then I'll see you here when we start joining it to the other square. I'm now at the corner here. Next up would be to work the corner, and then we're going to join to motif 1 along this edge. So motif 1 is to the top of your square. So here's 2, there's 1, and then we're going to join along here. I'm just going to push that one a little aside for the moment because I still need to do this last chain 3, 2, 3, and then come to the marked corner stitch, and in that marked stitch I'm just going to remove the marker now. Then in the marked corner stitch work a double crochet, chain 1, and now if you look at square 1, there's that marked corner. I'm going to join with a PLT join there. So I'm going to open up the loop. I'm going to insert my hook from top to bottom through the loop that contains the stitch marker. So I'm just going to remove the marker because I now know which corner stitch that is. Then in that corner stitch, there, insert your hook from top to bottom. Bring your working yarn back, pull that loop tight, and then we're going to pull the loop through the chain space. And there we go. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then come back to the stitch where you just worked the double, so that corner stitch, and work another double in there. And this way, if I just rotate my work like this, it's a little easier. You've now done this first join. Now here along the edge, I'm going to continue with a flat braid join. Chain 1, and again remove your hook from your working yarn, and then come to the next loop. So see, here's your next loop. Insert your hook top to bottom, grab that loop and pull tight, and pull the loop through the chain space. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then on this side, on motif 2 where we're currently at, skip 1, 2 stitches and work a double in the third stitch. And then we're going to repeat until we're to the corner. So chain 1, open up this loop, come to the next chain space, insert your hook top to bottom, bring the loop back, pull through, 1, 2 chains, and then skip 1, 2 stitches and work a double. And I'll show you once more, and then I'll make a jump in the video. Chain 1, open up the loop, come to your next chain space, insert your hook from top to bottom, pick up your yarn, pull through, chain 2, 1, 2, skipping 2 stitches, 1, 2, work a double. There you go. And if I just rotate my work a little bit, get the hook out of the way, you can see this is the join that we're making. So work this along the entire edge, and I'll see you here for the corner. I'm almost to the corner. Just work that double crochet there, and there's one more loop left here on motif 1, and then there's the corner, of course. chain 1, come to the next, so this is the last chain space before the corner. Oh. Pull that loop tight, pull through, chain 2, 1, 2, and then skipping 2 stitches means we end up at the corner. I'm just going to remove that marker because it's in the way. 1, 2, and then here this is the corner stitch that gets a double. Now we're going to join to the corner here in the same way we did the first corner. So chain 1, come to the next corner. I'm going to remove this marker as well because I don't need it anymore. That corner there, bring the loop back, chain 2, 1, 2, and then work another double in the same stitch. There we go. And then the rest of these 2 edges, I'm just going to zoom out a bit so you can see what I mean. The rest of these 2 edges are worked in the same way as on motif 1. So here you're going to work chain 3, skip a stitch, work a double all along this edge, then here work the corner and come back and do the same on this edge as well. So you're going to have 3 edges exactly the same, and then here this 4th edge, this one here is joined. So go all the way around, and when you're finished your work of course this way up. You're going to work this edge and the one here at the bottom and close then on that first stitch, and then you've got all these chain 3 loops along all your edges, and then we're ready for motif 3. Round 1, motif 3. I have a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to work a chain 3 chains, and then close on the first to form a ring. There we go. If you then pull it open, there in the little hole in there, work a beginning treble. So that's a double. I'm just trying to get my hook in there. It is also just a bit small still. There we go. Double and a chain 1. That's the beginning treble. You can see now there's the little hole that I just worked in. Treble, then chain 1 and 2 more trebles in the ring. 1 and 2. We do this 3 times. So that was once, chain 1 and 2 more trebles in the ring. 1 and 2. That was the second set. Again, chain 1, 2 more trebles in the ring. 1 2, and then to complete this round, chain 1, 1 treble in the ring, and now close on the starting treble here on the chain. Close on there with a slip stitch. There we go. Now you have 2 trebles per edge, and the chain 1 spaces are your corner. Can at this point cut your yarn and fasten off, because next round is a new color. Round 2, a new color yarn on my hook, and it's all very small, I realize that, but we're going to attach in the chain 1 space, any corner space. If you just pull your work apart, you'll see those chain spaces. So in there, attach with a slip stitch. Now in the corners we work 3 trebles, chain 1, 3 trebles all the way round. That's the goal at least. Now we start with a beginning treble. So so that's a double, there we go, and a chain 1. Move it to the side a bit, and this is only part of the first 3 trebles. We're going to work 1 now, and then we work 2 when we finish. So that means next up is a chain 1, this is a corner, and now 3 trebles in the same space. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to just skip the 2 trebles you have there and come to the next chain space, and if you can't find it, just pull your work open, there it is, and work 3 trebles in the next space. So 1, 2, and 3. The next corner is a chain 1, which is the same as that chain 1 over there, so that's the same one. So that means we now work 3 more trebles in the same space. 1, 2, 3. So now you've completed this entire corner. So you're going to repeat this all the way around. So in the next chain 1 space, 3 trebles, chain 1, 3 trebles, and here also 3, chain 1, 3 trebles. Then come to the last corner, actually the one you started, you're going to work 2 trebles because you already got one in there. So 2 trebles and then close on your first stitch. And at that point you can also fasten off because next round is a new color. Round 3, new color yarn on my hook, and this time you have the right side facing, so that means your yarn tails are to the back. And we're going to attach in any corner space with a slip stitch. Now we're going to do the same ideas to complete the granny stitches. So a double crochet and a chain 1, this is your first treble. Then chain 1, this is a corner space. In the same corner work 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. Now in every space between these groups of 3 trebles, going to work 3 trebles. Now in this case there's only 1. It's here in the center, so work 3 trebles in there. 1, 2, 3. Of course, if you have more rounds, there will be more of these groups here in the center. And next up is the corner, and the corner gets 3 trebles, chain 1, and 3 trebles. So 1. I'll just do that again in a moment. 2, 3 trebles, chain 1, and 3 more trebles in the same space. So that's going around the corner. That chain 1 space is your corner. Let me just complete this here. 3 trebles. You can see how you've now gone around the corner. And this you do all the way round. So 3 trebles, chain 1, 3 trebles in every corner. Here in the center groups you've got 3 trebles. And when you're all the way around, you're going to finish by working 2 trebles here and then close on your first stitch there with a slip stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 4, which you already see worked here, with the wrong side facing, so you have your yarn tails facing, repeat round 3. And the only difference now is that you're going to have 2 times that you work a group of 3 trebles in here on the edge. For the rest it's all the same, so repeat round 3 with the wrong side facing. Round 5, repeat again round 3, and this time with the right side facing, so your yarn tails here are to the back. Repeat round 3, so that means simply 1 extra group of 3 trebles. and then leave, and then again you can fasten off and then leave the right side facing for the next round. Round 6, with one of your grey shades, you're going to have the right side facing. Repeat round 3. So, and this time you have again one extra group of those 3 trebles. Right side facing, so your yarn tells it to the back. Repeat round 3, and very important this time, leave your yarn attached for the next round, because that's all going to be the same grey shade from now on. So repeat round 3. Round 7, currently in that first stitch from the previous round, just move with a slip stitch to the corner space. There we go. And at this point repeat round 3 again, so that means another round of these granny stitches. And when you've completed round 7, this is what your work looks like. Again, leave your yarn attached for the next round. Round 8, still have the right side facing. Just going to move with a slip stitch to the chain space. Now the corner starts with a treble, which is a double crochet and a chain 1. Going to work 2 more trebles here when you're back to complete the corner. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That's your corner space. And now here in the same space where you're at, work 3 trebles. So 1, 2, 3. So your corner when you're finished is going to be 3 trebles, chain 3, and 3 trebles. Then for the straight edge, chain 1, skip 1 stitch and work a treble. And the first stitch you're skipping is this one here. You see that stitch is very hidden. So that one you're skipping, and you're coming here to this stitch, your second stitch, and work a treble. I'm going to do this until you're to the other side. So chain 1, skip a stitch, work a treble. So this is 2. You'll be doing this 10 times. Oh wait, I just split my yarn. Let me just do that again. Happens sometimes. That's 2, chain 1, skip a stitch, work a treble. That's 3. I'm just going to continue, make a jump in the video. So chain 1, skip a stitch, work a treble. Then I'll see you back here. Almost to the corner. Work that repeat 10 times. Now chain 1, and then there's 1 stitch left. That stitch, going to skip that stitch and then come to the chain corner space, in which you work 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. Chain 3, and this chain 3 is of course the same as the chain 3 that you did right there at the beginning. And then work 3 trebles in here again. 1, 2, 3. And that's your new corner made. So repeat along this edge, well, on the other 3 edges, and when you're here, you're going to work 2 more trebles in there, and then close on your first stitch. That's the beginning treble with a slip stitch. And leave your yarn attached. Round 9. This round the corners get 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles, and then 1 treble on every stitch or space. Now we're going to move to the corners with a slip stitch. And then we start off with a beginning treble, so that's a double and a chain 1. Then we complete the corner when we're back. And then again, chain 3, this is your corner space. 2, 3, and then 2 more trebles here. So that's 1, and there you go, 2. So only 2 trebles in the corner. Sorry. On the straight edge we work 1 treble on every stitch or space. So here these are the first ones, and you do this until you're to the other side. So every stitch gets a treble, and if I recall correctly those were 27 trebles that you're going to be working. So this is the first 3, and then number 4 here falls in the chain space. This is easy to miss, so check that space. So that was 4, and here on the treble again is 5. This is 6, and continue until you're to the other side. This is the last one. I've worked all those trebles, and then next up here is the corner. That's 2 trebles, 1, 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That's your new corner space, and then 2 more trebles here in the same corner, 1, 2, and now you've started your next edge already. So go all the way around. So now work again a treble on every stitch. When you get here to the beginning, you're only going to need to work 1 extra treble in the chain space, and then close on your first stitch with a slip stitch. Round 10. This round we're going to work a double crochet on every stitch, and in the corner you work 5 doubles and go all the way around. I'm going to move to the corner space with a slip stitch. Now the repeat, 5 doubles in the corner. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 doubles. The third one of these 5, I'm just going to mark that one there, because that's your new corner stitch. So the center one, because it'll make joining it easier if I know where that stitch is. And now it's a double on every stitch until you get to the next corner where you work 5 doubles in again, and then go all the way around. So a nice easy relaxing round, double on every stitch, 5 in the corner, and when you're here back at the beginning, just close on your first stitch with a slip stitch, and then we're ready to join to the blanket. You've now completed the square, and now we're going to join it to our blanket. This is motif 1, that's motif 2, so you're going to join it here at the top. Also use the schematic to see exactly where you're joining which square, because at a certain point I'm just going to refer you to the schematic. Now what we do is we're going to work this first edge and the second edge the same way you did for motif 1. So that means double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the corner, then chain 3, skipping the stitches and working the doubles until you get to that corner, work this corner and also up to this edge. Then on this edge you're going to work the same join as you did here for motif 2, so joining motif 2 to joining 1. That was your pulling the loops through the little loops that you have on motif 1. So up to here, and that's all the same, you've all done that before. So just look back at the video on how to do that if you need. Otherwise, if you just know how to do it, you can just go for it. The only thing that's different is this join here, is that we're going to do a diagonal join from this corner to motif 1. I would like to show you that join, but for the rest it's all the same. So if you just check back the video, this first 2 edges are the same as for square 1, and this join here is the same as for that join there. Up to the corner is slightly different here. I'd just like to show you that. This is what my work looks like at the moment. I've just done all those 3 edges, and now I'm going to do the corner here. I'm just going to show you that. So I'm going to zoom into here that you see this part here. So here I've zoomed in, and if you look closely you see I actually need to do one more loop on this side, so I'm just going to do that. Chain 1, come to this last chain loop, pull through, chain 2, and now if I skip 2 stitches, the next stitch here is my marked corner stitch. I'm just going to remove that stitch marker. In that corner stitch, work a double. Now we're going to join to the corner that's here on square 1, so that's the light square there. Chain 1, open up this loop. Now go to the, so here's the corner from square 1, motif 1. I'm just going to insert my hook from front to back, pick up the working yarn, and you're going to pull it underneath, so by pulling it through you pull it underneath your work, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and then come back to the stitch already worked here. So you've already got a double crochet in there, work another double in there. And now you've made that join. Then here along this edge do exactly what you've done before, so chain 3, skipping 2 stitches and a double until you get to the beginning, and then close there with a slip stitch and fasten off. For motif 4, you're actually going to repeat motif 1. It's the same design but just different color placement, and you're going to work that for the first 10 rounds. So this is the first 10 rounds of motif 4, just in different color combinations. And then you're going to join motif 4 to your work in the following way. So here's my yarn. That's the point where I'm at. So I'm going to work a corner here, so double, chain 3 double, and then chain 3 all those loops up to this corner here, then join to that corner in the same way as you've done for motif 2. Work this edge the same way as you've done here and here, and then here we're going to close diagonally. I'm just going to show you this join here. So for now, work the first 10 rounds of motif 1, and then do the first 2 joins of round 11, and then I'll see you for the corner. Now here I am at that corner. I've just worked this edge, and now we're going to join diagonally motif 4 to motif 1. Just have actually one more loop to do. Just chain 1, and just close to this last loop here on the other side. Pull through, chain 2, and then there we go, just come to the marked corner. It's going to remove the stitch marker, so that's easier. So if you skip 2 stitches, the next one should be the marked corner stitch. Then a double in there. Now chain 1, open up the loop, there we go, and then come to the corner from motif 1, and this is the dark grey here. There's the corner, that's the corner. Insert my hook from top to bottom through that corner space. And then here from the bottom, grab your working yarn, and now you're going to basically pull it underneath. Oh, I think I just lost a chain 1 actually. Yes, I did. So chain 1. Let me do that again. So in that corner, there's the corner. Grab your working yarn and hold on to it a little bit better than I just did. And pull it underneath the corner through. And now chain 2, 1, 2, and come back to the stitch where you work that double and work another double in there. And there we go. And that has closed this join completely. And now you can work this edge, so all the chains and connecting to the loops on motif 2. Work until the corner. And when you've worked the corner, so you're going to work this edge here, work the corner, and then on this last edge all your chain 3 loops until you get to the first stitch, close with a slip stitch and fasten off. And now you've done all your join combinations, and from now on it'll just be motifs, and then the join, you know how that works. Motif number 5. So this motif is a new one again. So this is new color yarn on my hook, and we start with a chain 3 to form a ring. Then in the center, just pull that open. There's the center. A starting treble, so that's a double in the ring, followed by a chain 1. That's your first treble. Now chain 3. This is the corner. 2, 3, and then 2 more trebles in the ring. In that little hole. So 1, and there it is. 2, and this we do 3 times in total. So that was the first time. So again, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 trebles in the ring, and it gets easier because there are already a few stitches in the ring. Then it gets easier to see where they go. That's 2, and again chain 3, and then 2 more trebles. 1, 2. You can really see the corners taking shape. Chain 3, and now just 1 treble because you already got the beginning treble in there, so just the 1. Close on the first treble, which is here, the chain 2. I'm just going to close there with this slip stitch. So that's this on the chain, on the chain from you've got the double and then a chain, so that's where you close. That's round 1. Keep the right side facing for round 2. Round 2. Slip stitch to the corner. Now in the corner I'm going to work a beginning treble. That's a double and a chain 1. Chain 3, that's the corner space. And then in the same corner where you're in, 2 trebles. 1, 2, chain 1, then skipping these 2 trebles, come to the next corner and work 2 trebles in there. 1, 2, chain 3, this is your new corner, and 2 trebles in the same space. 2, and then this corner is of course the same as that corner. So you're going to go all the way around. So chain 1, come to the next corner, work 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles, chain 1 to again skip those stitches in between, come all the way around, and after your last chain 1 you'll work only 1 treble because you've already got a treble in there, and then close on the at the beginning stitch, close on that with a slip stitch and leave the right side facing. Round 3, just going to move with a slip stitch to the corner. Now we're going to work 5 doubles in the corner and then 1 on every stitch. So 5 in the corner, 1, 2, 3, just move them up a bit, 4, 5, and number 3 here is your corner stitch. I'm just going to mark that stitch so you can find it more easily on the next round. And then on the edge, 1 on every stitch, so that's again 5, 1, 2, number 3 is here in this space, 4, and 5. There we go. And this you repeat all the way around. So again 5 in the corner, and then 1 on every stitch for the edge, on all 4 your edges. And when you're here to the beginning, close on your first double with a slip stitch, and then turn your work for row 4. Round 4, you now have the wrong side facing, that's important. We're going to work alternating a double crochet and a double treble on every stitch. And the stitch we're in at the moment, where you see, I can't really see it very well. Oh, there it is. That stitch. Work a double crochet in there. Then on the next stitch, a double treble. We continue this until we're to the corner. And this actually creates these little bubbles here on the other side. That's what the double trebles do. We've done this before with the motifs in parts 2. And a double, again a double treble. And almost to the corner. You see, this is also why it's easy to mark the corner, because now you know which stitch is going to be the corner stitch. And then a double treble. And then in the corner we're going to work 3 stitches, a double treble, and a double. I'm just going to remove the marker because the next stitch is the corner stitch. So it's a double, yarn over twice for the double treble, three, and a double again. And then this here is the corner stitch, the double treble. And then along this edge do the same. So again a double treble, and then a double until you get to the next corner. So double treble, double, alternating till you get to the corner. That's again a double, double treble, double. Go all the way around. You're going to finish here with a, if I recall correctly, with a double treble, and then close on the first stitch we made, which was the double with a slip stitch, and then turn your work to have the right side facing for the next round. Round 5, you have the right side facing. Going to work a double on every double and chain 3s in between. So where you're at the moment, in that double, work a double in there, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and come to the next double. So that's between the two bubbles you have. So in there, work a double. You're going to repeat this all the way around. So chain 3, skipping the bubble, and then work a double. And that way you're going to create these loops that you're going to use to work into in the next round. So chain 3 and come to the next double and work a double. So I've now done this 3 times. Really go all the way around, so there are no extra corners or anything on this round. So go all the way around when you get to your first double here, close with a slip stitch and again leave the right side facing. Round 6, right side facing. You're going to move with a slip stitch to the next chain space. In this chain space we're going to work 2 trebles. Now, the first one is a beginning treble. There's a double and a chain 1, and then another treble in the same stitch. The next chain space, this one is the corner. 2 trebles, chain 3, and 2 trebles in here. So 1, 2 trebles, chain 3 and 2 trebles. 1, 2, there you go, 2. So 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles. That's your corner. Now for the straight edge, you're going to work 2 trebles in the next space. That's 1 and 2, and then come to the next space and do the same. Again, 2 trebles. 1 and 2. Now the next space, that's the one here in the middle, gets a treble, chain 1 and a treble. So it's a treble, chain 1 and another treble. There we go. The next 2 spaces, 2 trebles again, so it's symmetrical. This is 1, 2, and also on the next space 1 and 2. The next chain space here is a corner again, so this one gets 2 trebles, 1, 2 trebles, chain 3 and 2 trebles in the same space. 1. I'll just do those again in a moment because they're not very pretty, so I'm going to do them again, but to show you where I am right now. This is your work at the moment. Repeat this all the way around. So again, the 2 trebles, and then here in the center is a treble, chain 1 treble, 2 trebles in the corner, and when you get here, you're not going to, the last edge won't be complete. You only work 2 trebles here, and then of course these 2 you've already done. So then join there on your first treble with a slip stitch, and then you have 1 more round in this color. Round 7, the right side facing. Going to work a double crochet in every stitch, and then in the corner we work 5. Now in the stitch that you're currently in, work a double, and then in every stitch till you get to the corner. In this case it's 3. 1, 2, 3. Corner space gets 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to move everything up a bit. 4, 5, and then the third one is again a corner stitch, so I'm just going to mark that. Third stitch is a corner. And now along the straight edge again, 1 on every stitch, and also here in the space there also gets 1. That's going to be 15. So work 15 doubles till you're to the other side, and then here in your next corner you work 5 again. I'll repeat that all the way around. Like I said, remember the chain 1 that also gets a double. When you're back to your first stitch, close with a slip stitch and fasten off. Round 8, you have the wrong side facing with the grey shades on your hook, and we're going to attach in any of the corners. I'm just going to take this corner. I'm just going to remove the marker because then it's easier to join in that stitch with a slip stitch. There we go. The corner as such is a double, treble and a double, but we're just going to start with the double crochet in the corner, and then we complete the corner when we're all the way around, then we complete that. The straight edge is a double treble and a double alternating so you get to the other side. So we start with a double treble, just yarn over twice, then a double, there we go, in the next stitch, and again to yarn over twice for the double treble. Yes, and a double in the next stitch. So I've now done this twice. I'm going to do it and repeat twice 9 times. That'll bring you here. So keep on alternating a double treble, double, double treble, double till you're here, and then I'll see you back. I'm almost to the corner. I've alternated these double trebles and the doubles. There's 1 stitch left before the corner. I just finished with a double, and then that stitch before the corner gets a double treble. So yarn over twice, and that gets a double treble. 2, 3. The next stitch is a marked corner stitch. I'm just going to remove the marker. So this stitch gets a double. Yarn over twice for a double treble in the same stitch. 1, 2, more or less 3, 3 times, and then in the same stitch again a double, and then that makes your corner. And then along the edge exactly the same. So again a double treble, and then a double until you're at the next edge, the next corner. Of course, finish again with the double treble, and then you work a corner. Go all the way around. And remember, we started the corner with only the double, so that means in this starting stitch where you started, you still need to work a double and a double treble before you close on the first stitch with a slip stitch. If you then look at your work from the front, you see all these nice little bubbles. So when you're at the end of your work, turn your work again to have the right side facing. Round 9 with the right side facing, repeat round 5. And that means a double crochet on every double, and then chain 3s in between. So you're going to be making all of those loops again and go all the way round. So repeat round 5. Round 10, have the right side facing, and we're just going to move with a slip stitch to the chain 3 space, and that chain 3 space is actually a corner space. Now I'm going to start with a beginning treble in here, so double and a chain 1, and this is half the corner, so we'll complete it when we come back. Then chain 3, this is your new corner space, 2, 3, and in the same space work 3 more trebles. That's 1, 2, 3. For the straight edge, you have 10 loops here. I'm going to work 2 trebles on the first 5 loops, then a chain 1, and then 2 trebles on the next 5 loops. That's what we're going to do. So on the first 5 loops, work 2 trebles. 1, 2, so that's the first loop. Here work 2, 1, 2, and then the next one, 2, so this was set 3, this is number 4, and this here is number 5. So 2 trebles in this first 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now chain 1, chain, and now come to the next 5 loops and work 2 trebles in each of those. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is your second loop. This is the third loop. I'm going just a little bit faster. This is the third set, or the fourth set actually already, and the last one. 1, 2. Let's just double check. There was a chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 2 trebles. Next here is a corner, and this corner gets 3 trebles, chain 3 and 3 trebles. 2, 3, so that's 3 trebles, then chain 3, this makes your new corner, and 3 more trebles in the same space. 1, 2, and 3. And this edge, repeat this on your other 3 edges also, and of course the corners. And when you come back here, you're going to finish working 2 trebles, because you already have the first one in there. So 2 trebles, and then close on your beginning treble with a slip stitch. Round 11, just going to move with a slip stitch to the corner space. Now in the corner we start with a beginning treble, so that's a double and a chain 1, and then 3 chain, that's your new corner. 1, 2, 3, it's your new corner space, and then 3 more trebles here in the same corner. 1, 2, 3, and we'll complete the corner of course when we come back. For the straight edge, chain 1, skip a stitch, work a treble, and repeat that till you're to the other side. So chain 1, skipping a stitch, and here's the first stitch you're skipping, is that one. Come to the second and work a treble, and repeat this till you're to the other side. So chain 1, skip a stitch, work a treble. So I've now done twice. I'm going to do this 13 times till you're here, and one of your trebles should fall here in the chain 1 space from the previous round. So keep on repeating chain 1, skip a stitch, work a treble, then I'll see you back for the corner. Almost to the corner, so I've worked 13 of those trebles. Note that one falls here in the chain space. Now 1 chain, going to skip the next stitch, that's your last stitch, and then come to the corner. We're going to work 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3 trebles, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then another 3 trebles in the same space. 1, 2, 3, and then this corner is of course the same as the corner we started with the exception of those first 2 stitches. Repeat, go all the way around, and here of course 2 more trebles, and then close on your first stitch with a slip stitch. Round 12, just going to move with the slip stitch to the corner. Then in every corner, going to work 3 doubles, and then along the edge 1 double on every stitch or space. So 3 in the corner, so that's 1, 2, 3, and of these 3, the second one there, that one is your corner. So I'm just going to mark the second stitch. That's again easier for joining to the rest of the blanket. And then on every space or stitch here along the edge, work a double. That should be 33 along the edge. So here number 4 falls in the chain space. And continue this and go all the way around. So 3 in the corner and 1 on every stitch. And when you're here back at the beginning, close with a slip stitch on your first stitch. The last round of motif 5 is to join it to the rest of your blanket, and I've actually already done so. And this looks a little weird, but in essence, this last round is more or less the same as round 1, or the round from motif 1, I should say, with the exception that you're going to join it only on this corner here to motif 3. So this corner. So this is the entire blanket up to now. So you've got the 4 we just made, and then if I roll it down, here you see this motif. So we're gonna fill this in here, but this looks a little weird. So like I said, go all the way around with all those chain loops and the double crochets, and just join on this one corner. And I'm really sure that you can do this without me, because it's almost the same as motif 1, exception of the corner. So join, and then we're ready for the next motif. Motif 6, round 1, your color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start with a chain 3 to make a ring again, and then close on that first stitch with a slip stitch. Then in the ring, if I just open it up, there in the ring, work 12 trebles in total, and the first one is of course a beginning treble. That means a double and a chain 1, and now 11 more trebles in the ring. So this is 1, 2, 3, continue until you have 11 of these full trebles. Then with your beginning treble you'll have 12, and then close on your first stitch. There's a beginning treble there on the chain 1, close on there with a slip stitch, and then you'll have 12 trebles. For round 2, still with the same side facing, we're going to work a 3 double treble cluster in each stitch with chain 3s in between. Now in this stitch where we're currently in, so there, I'm going to work a beginning 3 double treble cluster. So that means in the same stitch where you're currently in, this is maybe a little tricky, work a double crochet, then a chain 2, 1, 2, that's in essence the first leg, yarn over twice because it's a double treble. In that same stitch insert your hook, take off 2 loops, take off 2, and we do that again because it's a 3 double treble cluster, 1, 2, and all these loops, they go off in one go. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we come to the same stitch and we work again a 3 double treble cluster. So yarn over twice, go to the next stitch, take off 2, take off 2, just 1, 2, 3, take them all off. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. So chain 3, 2, 3, and come to the next stitch, and again a 3, a double treble cluster. So 1, this is 2, and then this is 3, take them off, and again chain 3. Now I've done this 3 times now. I'm going to do quite a few more because you're going to have 12 of these double treble clusters, and do make sure that you have 12, because it could be that you accidentally skip a stitch somewhere. So make sure you've got 12 of those double treble clusters with chain 3s in between. And when you get back to the beginning, you're going to do a chain 3 and then close on that first stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 3, new color yarn on my hook. You're going to start in any chain 3 space, doesn't matter where you start, and attach there with a slip stitch. But in essence, going to work 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles in every chain space, with chain 1s between those groups. Now, let me show you. I'm going to start with a beginning treble. Double crochet ended, chain 1. Then chain, the second treble will work when we finish. So this is the first one. Then chain 1, and now in the same space work 2 more trebles. 1 and 2. Chain 1, and this is to move to the next space. Now come to the next space and work, and there are 2 trebles, chain 1 and 2 trebles. So 1, 2 trebles, chain 1 and 2 trebles. 1 and 2. And then again chain 1 and come to the next space, 2 trebles, 1, 2 trebles, chain 1 and 2 trebles in the same space. I'm just splitting my yarn a bit. 1, 2. Now again chain 1 and then come to the next space, 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles. You're going to go like this all the way around, and when you go back to the beginning you still need 1 more treble for this first group, and then close on your first stitch with a slip stitch. And remember all those chain 1s between these groups. So you always have 2 trebles and a chain 1. And sometimes the 2 trebles is in the same space, and sometimes it's in the next space. But between every group of 2 trebles, you have a chain 1. Round 4. Currently in the treble there with a slip stitch. We're just going to move to the chain space with a slip stitch. There we go. Now going to work a double crochet on every chain space with chain 3s in between. So where you're currently in, work a double, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, come to the next chain space and work a double, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, come to the next space and work a double, chain 3 and work a double. And this you're going to repeat all the way around, so chain 3s and then double crochets, and then when you get here back to the beginning, close on your first double there with a slip stitch. Row 5, I've already worked it here, is repeat row 4. So that means you move with a slip stitch to the next space, double crochet in every space and chain 3s in between. So you work another round just the same. But the only tip I want to give you is when you, because I've almost completed this round here, when you move with a slip stitch to the next space and you work that first double, just mark that double with a stitch marker, and then start the chain 3 double crochet in the next loop and go all the way around, because you're going to miss this starting point when you come back here, because then you could just continue on and on and on, and then you're going to have to work more than one round. So just mark your first double, and then after your last chain 3 you can close on this stitch here with a slip stitch, and then you can of course remove the marker again. So this is just a tip for round 5. Repeat round 4. Round 6, just going to move again with a slip stitch to the next chain space. Now in this chain space, work a double, double, and now a chain 3, 2, 3. If it makes life easy for you, again mark this double, and this is just to see that it's the start of the round, and that's just to, yeah, when you come back that you don't miss that. When you come back you'll understand what I mean. So just mark that stitch if it helps you. Now in the next space we're going to work a corner stitch. We're going to work a popcorn. So this means in here, we start with 4 trebles of course. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up this loop. We've done popcorns before, so I'm gonna maybe go a little faster because I'm assuming that you really know how these popcorns work by now. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This chain 3 is your actual corner stitch, and in the same space we're going to work another popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4 trebles. Open that up again and pull through. So that's your corner popcorn, chain 3, popcorn. Now for the straight edge, I'm going to do chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the next chain space work a double. I'm going to do this 5 times. So that was 1, 1, 2, 3 chain. This is double number 2, 1, 2, 3. This is double number 3, 1, 2, 3 chain, double crochet number 4 in the chain space, 1, 2, 3. The next chain space comes double crochet number 5. And now we're going to start the process of the next corner. So again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in your next space, another, a corner. So this is a popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4 trebles. I open that up to start the popcorn. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me just move this popcorn up a bit because I need another one in there. And then 1, 2, 3, and close. You can see how this corner is the same as that corner. So this you're going to work along this edge also. So now chain 3 and then a double, 5 of those, chain 3 and then a popcorn corner. So popcorn, chain 3, popcorn, then along this edge, and then you come back on this side also. Now maybe you see why it could be helpful to just mark that first double, that you know, okay, after your last chain 3 that you close on that one, because this is in essence the last one of the 5, because you've got 5 here, and that 5th one, that's the same equivalent stitch as this stitch here. Repeat all the way around, and when you're at the end you can also fasten off. Round 7, a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start in any of the corner spaces, and that's between the popcorns, and attach your yarn there with a slip stitch. In the corner we work 5 doubles. This is 1, 2, 3, and of course here this third one is your new corner stitch, 4, 5. So if you want to, you can mark that third stitch with a stitch marker. Now going to come to the edge, so there's 5 in the corner. On the next 3 spaces we're going to work 3 doubles on each chain space. So 1, 2, 3, and come to the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, and the next chain space, 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 3 doubles. On this double crochet here, it's exactly in the middle, 1 double on there. It's exactly here in the middle. And now your next 3 spaces, they get 3 doubles also. So this is symmetrical. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, in this last space here, 1, 2, 3. Next up here is the chains corner space, 5 doubles in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the same corner as that corner. So repeat this on all 4 edges and close here on your first stitch with a slip stitch. Round 8, I'm just going to move with a slip stitch to the corner, so that means moving 2 stitches. That's 1 and 2. I just had my corner stitch marked there. Now where we're at the moment, you're going to work 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles for your corner. We're going to start with a beginning treble. So in the same stitch, that's a double and a chain 1. And the other 2 trebles will work when we come back. Chain 2, this is your new corner space, and then 3 trebles in the same corner. 1, let me just do that again. 1, this is 2, 3. Now we're going to, for the straight edge, so the corner is a treble, chain 2 and 3 trebles. For the straight edge, we're going to skip 2 stitches and then work 3 trebles in the next. We're going to do that until we're to the other corner. So that means skipping 2 stitches. So here 1, 2 skip, work 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3. Then again skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and here work 3, 1, 2, 3. Again skip 2 stitches and work a treble. That will fall exactly here in the middle. Skip 2, work a treble. I'll see you back here, so do a few more of these. Skip 2 stitches and then work 3 trebles, and I'll see you back here for the corner. I'm almost to the corner, so I've worked here all these groups of 3 trebles, 2 stitches left, and then you're at the marked corner stitch, and so you see there 2 stitches left and then a corner. Then in that marked stitch, in the corner stitch, going to work a new corner. Here, this is going to be 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, that's a new corner stitch, and then 3 more trebles in this same corner space, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then this corner is of course the same as the corner we started with. So repeat on your next edge, actually your next 3 edges. Then here at the end you're going to finish with a chain 3. Or actually, sorry, I was a little messed up. You need to work 2 more trebles in there and then close on that first standing stitch with a slip stitch. Not a standing stitch, I'm sorry, I just totally lost it for a moment. But close on your first stitch and then you've got, I believe, 2 more rounds to go. Round 9, just going to slip stitch to the corner space. There you go. Now, the corner is very similar to the previous corner, so we're going to start with a beginning treble, so that's a double and a chain 1. Then chain 3, this is your new corner space, 2, 3, and then in the same space where you're currently in, work 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. We're now going to work 3 trebles between the groups of 3 trebles from the previous round. We're going to do that 4 times. The reason is we then do a chain 1, so 4 times. So 3 trebles in between there. So 1, 2, this once, 3 trebles, and here comes 2, 1, 2, 3, and comes here again, 1, 2, 3. So I've now done 3 times. Need to do once more. 1, 2, 3. Here. So I've now done this 4 times. Chain 1. Now this is important, this chain 1, because your stitch count otherwise won't work out. So chain 1, and now again between the next 4 groups, work 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. That's once. 1, 2, 3. That's 2 times. This round is a bit of a yarn eater. Here's 3, 1, 2, 3, and here the next space. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So 3 times, or 4 times I should say. It was 4 times, then chain 1 and 4 times. So that's important. And now you're at the corner. And the corner is going to be 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3 trebles, then chain 3, that's the corner space, and then 3 more trebles. 1, 2, 3, and that's your corner. And this edge with the corners repeat all the way around. Here at the end you're going to work 2 more trebles and then close on your first stitch. But what's really important is that chain 1 there, because you're going to need an extra extra double crochet later on. That's why we're doing that chain 1. Round 10, I'm just going to go with a slip stitch to the corner. Then in this corner space, 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 3 there, that's the corner. I'm just going to mark that stitch because it does make life a little easier later on. There we go, so I'm just going to mark that corner stitch there. Now for the straight edge, it's in essence 1 double crochet on every stitch and space. So also here that chain 1 space gets a double. So 1 double on every stitch until you're to the corner, and there you work 5 doubles again. Go all the way around, a double on every stitch or space, 5 in the corner, and then attach again with a slip stitch, and leave your yarn attached to join this square to your blanket. This is your work at the moment. This is the square we just worked, and this is where you're going to be joining it to the rest of your blanket. Now just take a moment to just pay attention to a few details. This square here, if I just bring this down, this square motif number 5, make sure it's not rotated on its axis a few times with this point here. So just make sure it's flat. And let me just double check. Yes, now my motif is flat, so that's when you join them that there's no spinning going around. Now how you're going to be joining this is actually the same way you've done before. This is the way your motif is oriented. Here's the yarn attached now. So just slip stitch to the corner, then work a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, corner, then all those chain 3 double crochet loops till you get here. This corner you join to that one exactly the same way as if you've done before. For example, here with motif 1 and 2, or with those two, so you join that corner. Then you work this edge the same way we've done before. You work this corner, joining it to there diagonally the same way we've done before. Come down here, work this edge, and this corner here join to there the same way we've done before diagonally, and then work this edge. So everything you've joining this square is the same as all your others, just bits and pieces from other parts. But if you've gone to here, you can join this one also. I've got no doubt at all. So join this square to your blanket, and then you've got 1 more motif to do, and then the rest is all just repeats. And when you've joined this square to your blanket, this is what your work looks like at the moment. We now have 1 more motif to work, so a new motif, and then all other motifs are repeats. Motif 7, round 1. I'm going to start again with a chain loop, so I'm making a chain 3 and close on the first stitch. In the opening, I'm going to start with a beginning treble, and then we work 15 more. That's the first treble, the double crochet and the chain 1. You've done this before. And then in the ring 15 more trebles, so you're going to have 16 trebles in total. It's a few more than the previous motif, so 16, 1 plus 15 more. I'm just going to go all the way around, so work in total 15 plus the beginning one is 16, and then close here on that first stitch, the starting stitch, with a slip stitch. Round 2, you have 16 trebles. Now in this stitch where you're currently in, work a beginning treble. So in that stitch that has the slip stitch, so that's a double crochet and a chain 1. And now work 4 more trebles in here, so you're going to have 5 trebles in that one stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that first one is of course your first treble, and if you find a stitch marker, it's going to mark my corner of these 5 stitches I have. It's the third one, it's the center one. That's the corner, so I'm just going to mark that stitch. Now for the edge, you're going to work a treble on the next stitch. So just see where's the next stitch. Now this corner kind of falls over the next stitch, so I'm just going to pull it back, because that's the next stitch. So 1 treble in there, chain 1, going to skip the next stitch. There's that one, I'm going to skip that one, then the stitch after, work a treble. And now in the next stitch, this one, I'm going to work 5 trebles again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. In case you were wondering what that noise was, that's my bread baking machine that just finished. 5 trebles, and the third one there is the corner again. And repeat this 2 more times, so a treble in the next stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, a treble, and then 5. Let me go all the way around, and you're going to finish here with 1 treble, and then close on your first stitch with a slip stitch. Round 3, it's going to start by moving with a slip stitch to the corner. So 1 and 2. So now I'm in the corner stitch. I'm going to remove the marker because I'm now in the right place. In here we work a new corner. It's going to be 5 trebles in total. We start with a beginning treble. So in that stitch, so it's a double and chain 1. And now in that same stitch, 4 more trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4. So with the beginning stitch is 5, so 5 trebles, and that third one there is my corner, so I'm just going to mark that again. Then the edge. On the next stitch, work a treble. It's this one here. 1 treble on there. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, which means the next place we're going to be working is the chain space. In that chain space, work a double. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then again skipping 2 stitches, work a treble. That means skipping 2 stitches. The next stitch will be the stitch before the corner. That one gets a treble. The following stitch is the corner stitch, and that gets 5 trebles. I'm going to remove the marker here. So the corner stitch gets 1 treble and then 4 more. So 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. So the 1 plus 4, and the third one there is again the corner. And these 2 corners are of course exactly the same. So repeat on your next 3 edges, and when you've done your last edge after your last treble, close on your first stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 4, new color yarn. I'm going to attach in any corner stitch. I'm just going to grab this one, so I'm just going to remove the marker. Attach in that corner stitch with a slip stitch. Then in the corner, a beginning treble. So that's a double and a chain 1, followed by 4 more trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the beginning stitches, of course, 5. The center one is the corner, so I'm just going to pop the marker back in. For the edge, the next stitch gets a treble. It's this one. 1 treble, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now skip all of this and come to the double that's here in the middle. There we make a popcorn. So on that stitch, on that double crochet, make a popcorn. So we start with 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up this loop and come to the first treble and complete the popcorn. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again skipping the chain space and the next 2 stitches. Come to the stitch before the corner and work a treble in there. Next up is the chain corner space. Oh, the corner space, just the chain stitch, corner stitch, and in there we work 5 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again the center one is the corner stitch, so I pop my marker back in. And now you work the next edge, because you can see how your 2 corners here are the same. So go all the way around, and after your last treble, close on your first stitch. Round 5, still have the right side facing. Just going to slip stitch to the corner. So that is a slip stitch in 1 stitch, and then the next stitch also. I'm going to remove the marker because I know this is the corner. There we go. The corner is the same as before, 5 trebles. Now the first stitch is a beginning treble. Double crochet and chain 1. And now 4 doubles here in the same stitch. Or trebles, I should say, 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3, so that's in total 5, and again the center stitch here is the corner. There we go. This straight edge, I'm going to start with a treble in the next stitch. Now of these 3, it's that first one there that gets a treble. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and then you come to the chain 4 space here, and that gets, so first we skip a stitch and work a treble. That's this one here. And now we come to the chain 4 space and work 3 trebles in there. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, 1, 2, and now we do the same on the other side but in reverse. So we start with 3 trebles in the chain 4 space. 1, 2, 3, 1 treble on the next stitch, chain 1, going to skip 1 stitch and then work a treble. So this one we're going to skip and then work a treble on that stitch, which should be the stitch before the corner. In the corner stitch itself, I'm just going to remove the marker, 5 trebles. This stitch here, 1 treble, 1, and now 4 more, and this is the start of the next repeat. 1, 3, and the last one, 4. So in total that's 5. And then again the center one of these 5, that's the corner stitch, that center one. You can see how how these 2 corners are the same. So what you've just done, repeat on your other 3 edges also. And at the end you're going to finish with 1 treble and then close on your first stitch with a slip stitch. Round 6, I'm just going to slip stitch to the corner again. 1 and 2, so now I know I'm in the corner. Then in the corner stitch again a beginning treble, so that's a double and a chain 1, and now 4 more trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and these 5 stitches are your corner, and then the center one is again the new corner stitch. For the straight edge, a treble on the next stitch, and this is the first one here. Immediately after the corner gets a treble. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches and then come to the chain space, and that gets a double. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we again skip 2 stitches and then work 2 trebles. So we're going to skip these 2 and then come to the 2 stitches that are before the chain space, and they get a treble. So 1 and 2. In the chain space here, 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. And now on the second half of this edge we do the same but in reverse order. So on the next 2 stitches a treble, 1, 2, then chain 3, 2, 3, and double here in the chain space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skipping 2 stitches, then in the last stitch before the corner, a treble. In the chain corner, oh sorry, not the chain corner space, but just the corner stitch, that's the next stitch, work 5 trebles. First just 1, which is the end of the repeat, and then 4 more, which is the start of the next repeat. So 5 in total. 2, 3, 4, 5 in total, and then the center one of those 5. And that's the new corner. And this is your edge at the moment. Repeat this on your other 3 sides also, and then close on your first stitch with a slip stitch. Round 7, attach one of your grey shades in any corner stitch. I'm going to take this one here with a slip stitch. There we go. So start the corner with a beginning treble. So that's a double and a chain 1. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in the same stitch 2 more trebles. 1 and 2. So the corner is 2 trebles, chain 3 and 2 trebles, and this treble you're missing, that'll be your last stitch when you're all the way around. For the straight edge, work 1 treble on the next stitch. So here, 1 treble, then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip everything and come to the double here that's in the middle, that double, and work a popcorn on there, on that double. So that means we work initially 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4, open up a loop and come to the first stitch and close. Then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to skip the chain space and 2 trebles, and then here in the middle you've got these 3 trebles that you worked in the chain space. On those 3 work a treble on each. That's 1, 2, 3. Now we do the same on this side. So again, chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and then here on the double work a popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4 trebles. Open up the stitch and close, and again chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then skip the chain space and 2 trebles, and then there's 1 stitch left before the corner, and that stitch gets a treble. Next is the corner stitch. I'm just going to remove the marker. Gets 2 trebles, 1, 2, and then just to start the next repeat, chain 3, and 2 more trebles in the same stitch. 1 and 2. So your corner is 2 trebles, chain 3 and 2 trebles. And this is your edge. Repeat this all the way around, and of course you'll finish with your last treble here that you still need in the corner. Then close on your beginning stitch with a slip stitch. Round 8, it's going to move with a slip stitch to the corner. Now in the corner we make a beginning treble. That's a double and a chain 1. Chain 3, this is the corner space, and now 2 more trebles here in the same corner. So 1 and 2. For the straight edge, work 3 trebles, so 1 on every stitch here. 1, 2, 3. Next up is the chain space, 3 trebles in this space. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to repeat this basically until we're to the other side. So chain 2, then 3 trebles in this space. 1, 2, 3. And this is what we're going to repeat till we're to the other side. So that means 3 trebles again on the next stitch. So 1 treble, 2, 3, then 3 trebles in the chain space. 1, 2 and 3, chain 2 again, and then 3 more trebles in this space. 1, 2, 3. Of course, logically, on these last 3 stitches, also 3 trebles, 1 on each. 1, 2, and 3. And this was the entire edge. Next up is the corner again. So that's 2 trebles in the corner space. 1, 2 trebles, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more trebles. 1 and 2. And then this corner is of course the same as the corner you started with over there. Repeat all the way round, and when you're here back at the beginning, you're going to work your last treble and then close to the first stitch. And then you've got 1 more round. Round 9. Going to do is going to work 5 doubles in the corner, 1 double on every stitch, and here in the chain spaces 3 doubles. First, let's just move with a slip stitch to the corner. In the corner space, 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And of course, the center one of those 5, that's your new corner. just going to mark that with a stitch marker. The straight edge, like I say, 1 on every stitch, so we're going to start here with 8 doubles. 1, especially that first one, be sure that you don't accidentally miss that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is number 8. So 8 doubles. In the chain space here, 3 doubles. So 1, 2, and 3. Then on the next 9 stitches, so these 9 stitches till you get to the another chain space, 1 double on every stitch. 1, 2, 3, number 9. So 9 doubles. Next chain space, 3 doubles again. So 1, 2, 3. And then here on the last 8 doubles before the corner, 1 on each. So 1 double, 8, 1, 2, and work 8 double crochets. That'll bring you to the corner. 3. And the last one, 8. In the corner, because it's now you're at the new corner, 5 doubles again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again the center one of those is your new corner. There we go. Oh, and now repeat on your next edge. So go all the way around. You can see how your corners are the same. Go all the way around, and after you've worked your last double, close on your first stitch with a slip stitch, and then we're ready to attach this motif to our blanket. This is where you are at the moment. Here is motif number 7, and we're going to join this to our blanket basically in the same way as we've done before. This is actually the same as for motif 3. So we're going to first work 2 edges, just chain loops, and then here join 1 edge, join this corner diagonally, and then work around chain loops again. So everything the same as we've done before. You just need a reference. Here are the first 4 motifs, and here's 5 and 6, and then 7 goes there at the top. So only 1 join to do here. So work this join in the same way as before. When you've joined motif 7 to your work, this is where you are at the moment. So give or take, I'll get it in front of the camera. This is what your work looks like right now. You now have, well, basically motif 8 to 20 to do, and these are all repetitions of one of these 7 motifs. So you're going to work motif 8 and then 9, and you're going to join them, well, basically here on the one side. So you're going to work from what we were here up to the other side and join all those motifs as you go. So I would like to refer you back to the other parts in this video for these other motifs. Join them as you go, and then I'll just like to show you what it looks like when you've joined all those motifs. So when you're all done, this is what your work looks like. Got all these panels kind of a little bit zigzagging over your work. Oh, this one's upside down. There you go. Up, down, you've got them zigzagging. A whole lot of them, 20 of them in total. This brings us to the end of part 3. Next time in part 4, we're going to be doing something similar, but not going to work in squares, but triangles, and then joining those triangles to this panel, and joining this panel to the one we've made in part 1 and 2. So that's up next time. I hope to see you back then.